Mai Shiranui is the eye-catching ninja of the King of Fighters series, whose primary legacy has been her looks. But there's more to like about Mai than her detractors would have you believe. Let's start with the obvious. Mai has quite an attractive design and people like that. I won't linger on this for too long. But what I will say though is that Mai's design is probably the smartest sexy look of any character. Just enough is consistently revealed to be enticing without numbing the player to her look. Mai is also constantly moving, which partially smears enough of the detail to keep the allure alive in her provocative animations. It's not just what you show, but how well you lead the viewer in. Many of her animations that do linger on her partial nudity are timed pretty well as part of important attacks, stylish special moves, and extravagant supers. So while Mai's design definitely looks great standing still, there's more function than people give it credit. Mai's most famous look is immediately recognizable and remains surprisingly distinct from similar costumes such as Chun-Li's or Kasumi's. While King of Fighters is full of immediately recognizable characters, she is absolutely among the easiest to spot in a crowd. Fighting games partially rely on a sense of importance to your character, and your character standing out visually is probably the simplest way to do that. I don't think any King of Fighters character visually stands out more than Mai, except maybe Angel and whatever that blinding ball of color was from King of Fighters 14. And since Mai stands out so much, she's likely a common first pick in the game just because Mai commands attention so easily. It's extra satisfying when you're controlling someone who feels like the center of attention, someone whose visual sense of personality works with the intense competitive gameplay to make attacking and moving feel enjoyable. Mai's presentation in matches is peppy, bright, and cheery. Mai's idle animation is grounded yet bouncy, and while obviously the jiggle is drawing your eye, Mai never really sits still and is always ready to move, although one of her legs always looks a bit awkward and clumsy. Movements such as running, super jumping, and wall cling all look really damn cool in a more controlled manner. Mai's kicks always look really cool. The satisfying thud of her heavies, the graceful reach of her lights, or the blunt simplicity of her air kicks and air knees, they're all great. Her light punches are humorously belittling, and her close, heavy punches just feel powerful to use. Her specials carry a sense of self-importance that works really well in fighting games. Her voice samples specifically add a fun and spirited layer to her spectacular special moves. Her voice is high-pitched, but it avoids being shrill by maintaining a self-satisfied tone that makes her sound proud of every special she hits. Mai's climax super specials all have her taking the time to basically do a victory lap on the opponent and have Mai doing a ton of flips, fly all over the screen, and summon a bunch of fire. Mai is presented like someone who knows her ability and flair is worth taking notice of, so she pridefully makes her presence known. She invites you in, walks all over you, and makes it all look really cool. Most glaringly, people ignore that a flashy, quick-footed ninja with humorous attacks might be fun to play. Now, my analysis will be primarily based on Mai in King of Fighters 98 Ultimate Match, King of Fighters 2002 Ultimate Match, and King of Fighters 13 because those are readily available to me and aren't still evolving. Mai's movement on the ground and in the air is pretty good. Her walk speed is good enough to apply pressure with her standing lights without committing to a run. Her hop and super hop are both really fast, excellent to push the opponent back and open them up with Mai's excellent air normals. Her air lights are great for close-up lockdown while staying in range, and her air heavies are great for jump-in attacks. Her air blowback attack is great to push or to keep the corner in KOF 13. Her slam dunk is an incredibly gratifying way to stop jumping opponents, and her falling knee drops have some graceful left-right mix-up potential. Her run is decently fast and gets you in range to take advantage of some potential block stun. Her crouching light kicks are great close up, her crouching light punch is a good option in KOF 13, and finishing off a block string with crouching heavy punch into Ryu keeps you safe against faster opponents. Ryu is her most spammable tool, as it's her only real anti-air option from the ground and usually covers a lot of space. Opening up your opponent can lead to high damage combos, conditioning your opponent to block can lead to a throw opening, and conditioning your opponent to expect a gap in pressure can lead to more flexible options. If your opponent seems eager to attack, you can bait them into using a move with invincible startup to get the pressure off, only to get punished due to the usual long recovery. Once you're safe and in control, you can hit them with a hard knockdown from crouching heavy kick, push to the corner with a killer ninja strike, or hit them with a high damage combo. In the corner, the heavy knockdown can force your opponent into blocking if you start with a meaty Ryu, and with good timing you can actually convert that into a combo if they don't block. The killer ninja strike sacrifices advantage unless you're already at the corner, but it's perfect if you're close enough to make it there. It's also a possible combo ender and one of the most satisfying moves to pull off in a match. This total package makes for a pretty good set of tools if you're in control. If things turn sour, the speed and height of Mai's backward jump, backward super jump, wall jumps, and wall cling specials also mean that Mai has a few options. If Mai loses control of the match, she can just run away with her great backwards movement options and push back against over-anxious opponents with the Ryu and the air blowback attack, or punish them with her dives, knee drops, and ass attack. That last one is especially hilarious. Once a good distance away, you can limit your opponent's options with the fans to either force them to block or jump, letting you get in Mai's safe range to poke and push. Mai has a few tools for every situation, and it can feel supremely rewarding to correctly use her toolbox to get control of the match. While her best distance may be the mid-range where she's safe and can still push, Mai can always do work as long as you've got a handle on things, which can be really rewarding when things all come together. In spite of how this sounds, Mai never really feels like a cheap character, even with some of the few spammable tools she has. All of Mai's moves have some kind of shortcoming that's relatively easy to figure out, so you need to adapt to your opponent. Mai doesn't have many answers to strong block pressure, so she needs to find the best time and method to get out of lockdown. Mai's tools don't always outrange her opponent, so you need to learn when to make your approach. Some characters have better mobility, so you gotta time your few defensive options well. Some enemies beat Mai in almost all ranges, so you have to make your opportunities with her other tools. Mai is also extremely difficult to hit confirm into big combos, so you gotta make the most of your opportunities once they come. While Mai works really well once her opponent is in the corner, her low damage prevents this from becoming a one-player game. Mai's game plan primarily revolves around making your opponent overextend or block. Mai never really forces control out of the opponent's hands, she just has options at every range to gain some momentum. For players that really enjoy an active style where you do something different at every range and you're rarely in long block strings or projectile wars, Mai is a perfect fit. While Mai's options for damage are low, maximizing your resources requires some excellent timing. As I said before, hit confirming with Mai is very hard, and getting the mid-screen combos can be really gratifying when you know how hard it is. The killer ninja strike, her air throw, and her various supers are all wonderful finales to the tense combo execution. Likewise, Mai's throws both work really well to either keep the opponent in the corner or push them towards the corner, and they're both really gratifying to pull off. Mai has so many moves that are simply fun to use correctly, even if the situations are rare. Since Mai has so many unique special moves, it can be really fun to pull them off in unexpected ways, especially since so many of them have fun or cool looking animations. Her supers especially look great, even if their damage is not the best. Many are not as safe as you'd expect, but that's kind of part of the fun. Getting into a player's head enough to know they aren't gonna punish an attack correctly, so you take the opportunity to style on them. I don't know if there's any character who has as many options to style on her enemies as Mai does. Quite simply, getting good with Mai and playing well with Mai is really fun. Mai is a very rewarding character once you get up to the right level of skill. And that validation of ability from using a character can be incredibly endearing for many. Being able to play a character that solidifies you've gotten really good at the game is wonderful. And Mai has just the right amount of simple usable tools with obscure little details that make her one of the more rewarding characters to learn advanced techniques. Sadly, however, she's regularly outclassed because she plays fair, and fair characters are never top tier. But for those who want to have a great time and don't mind their opponent getting to play the game, Mai is absolutely wonderful as a fighting game character. Mai is hardly defined by the King of Fighters storylines, as it doesn't really fit her character to be involved in extremely dramatic and over-the-top storylines. Her personality is highlighted more through character interactions between rounds or in her endings. She doesn't take things too seriously and makes fun of people for being too serious. Despite this, she doesn't put up with what she perceives as insulting and is very assertive in who she is. She doesn't take kindly to those who insult her choices or her family. She's very confident in who she is, to an extent that she can feel conceited and arrogant. Mai sees herself as the embodiment of what a woman should be. Heck, during her King of Fighters 13 Super, she writes woman in the background in fire while she's in the foreground. A lot of people love this kind of brazen self-celebration, and while it's usually connected to villains or anti-heroes, a bright, cheery ninja girl doesn't really feel out of place with these characteristics. Mai may not be on a revenge quest and may not act like royalty, but she will offer to transform someone to be more like herself. I will concede that Mai isn't a perfect character, but her unpleasantries do not overshadow her cheerful and self-confident character. Some of the weirder stuff with Mai is more in the details, such as her relationship with Andy. To her, Andy is her Prince Charming, and she did everything she could to get with her Prince Charming. Although a very unhealthy view of relationships, it does insinuate that Mai essentially sees herself like a perfect fairy tale princess, so she wants her Prince Charming. Again, this sort of fits in with a prideful, self-confident character that Mai is, and people love that point of view. A lot of her small details seem to push her towards being a perfect housewife of sorts, which can be mildly uncomfortable, but Mai sees this as a way of putting a smile on the face of people she cares about. There's no denying the creepy undertones once you try to picture the perfect audience for this element of Mai, but I still believe there's an audience that can appreciate Mai's desire to make people happy. Mai's character through the story of King of Fighters doesn't tell the full story about her. Because in fighting games, fighting is your character. For this portion, I mainly based Mai's character on how Mai would need to be played to do well and what Mai's tools enable. Mai is definitely style over function, but her style in many ways is her function. Mai is not an oppressive fighter who only fights to win, she fights more to have fun at the expense of her opponent, and treats fighting like an art. She hits like she's just trying to annoy the opponent or strike a pose. Her most consistent tools are just annoying little jabs and energetic pushback. Those loose jabs are basically taunting her opponent, and those specials keep them away while showing off some style. Mai's pressure is where her troll personality can come out and slowly pepper you with damage. Mai seems to just have fun toying with who she's fighting. Some of her pokes are literal pokes with objects, and her moves that cause knockdown all involve striking a dynamic pose. Sure, she's likely to be in range to be hit, but with smart enough play, she can stop you from ever really hitting her. Mai can consistently punish an approach and dances when she's finished with her close-range pressure. Mai is not a serious fighter with safe aggressive approach options or persistent long-range lockdown. Mai understands that oppressive smothering offense is not as fun as quick annoying offense with cutesy and fun exclamations, and that joy can be really infectious. As I've said, Mai's best tools all have their flaws. The Ryu Enbu is punishable on whiff, the fans lose in long-range projectile wars while also being easy to jump over, and her air normals are vulnerable to anti-air options if not spaced and timed incredibly well. So Mai's tools demand good timing and a solid understanding of your opponent's reactions. Her damage is also very low, so she needs to open up her opponent many times to get the victory. This paints Mai as a quick-witted, observant fighter who pays close attention to her opponents to make her openings count. Not to hurt, but to troll. Mai is confident enough in her ability to give opponents second chances and has the tools to put her opponents in their place while giving them a chance to defend themselves. The impression I get from Mai's style is that she's proving how good she is by essentially toying with her opponents and then styling on them when she's in their heads. Sure, Mai can just punish overextension with a heavy knockdown setup, but she also has the opportunity to do a sweet fire flip, drop them to the ground with her knees, perform an extended fire spinning dance, or just bat them away like an unwanted pest. Everything Mai does feels like it should be followed with, "Damn, I'm good." As well, this is something that's easy to translate to the player, since Mai requires good timing and smart play if you aren't just chaining lights. Mai's tools don't have a lot of overlap for their situational use, so you can easily get into a player's head by correctly predicting their actions, which usually leads players to panic, make moves that are seemingly unpredictable, but are just the opposite. Mai is rewarded for not relying on the same tools at every range, and rewards those who understand how to get opponents to act the way they want. Mai's strongest offensive tools are her air normals, meaning most of Mai's aggressive offense will be hopping through the air. As I've said previously, jump-heavy characters always feel more energetic and happy than grounded characters, and this is enforced with Mai's stylish running animation and mid-air flips. Mai's air options are among her most flavorful, fully showcasing her cheery and humorous personality through air attacks that punish those who are too predictable and lock down those who she's pushed into the corner. Mai also has some flexibility with some of her specials, which are conditionally no better than others, but by their use show how Mai is correctly predicting the opponent and using stylish alternatives. With Smart Prediction, an otherwise standard block string of lights suddenly becomes a cheery spin dance, and a typical frame trap becomes the coolest backflip that goes forward. Usually options like this are barely different from standard tools, but Mai has unique animations for all her specials. High damage combos are extremely difficult for Mai to get consistently, which pushes her character towards chaining lights and setups for lockdown, which is basically long-term taunting given her flashy animations and low damage. But once Mai actually does get high damage combos, it's like the world stops so Mai can put on a show. Getting good combos with Mai is like a one-person fire celebration with an impactful ending. Finishing off a tough combo with her very satisfying air grab knee or any of her glorious supers is an incredibly gratifying way that Mai highlights both style and skill. Similar to how Mai in story being braggadocious could come off negatively, Mai's character through gameplay could also come off as a bit obnoxious. That being said, the knowledge and skill required for Mai to be played really optimally makes her absolutely feel as if she's earned her victory and her right to brag. A lot of Mai's moves have heavy recovery on whiff and don't have actively long hitboxes needed to be easy to rely upon. If Mai was not good enough, her and the player would get their ass kicked. But if you're a good player, Mai has tools for every situation. Mai feels like someone who knows what she's doing, but isn't taking the process so seriously. She's just having fun with who she's fighting, doing it her way and looking cool while doing it. Mai is the first openly female character in an SNK fighting game. That might sound like it has too many qualifiers, but the actual first female fighter was King, with her sex being hidden. King was in Art of Fighting only a few months before Mai made her debut in Fatal Fury 2. While she's not a groundbreaker as far as women go in this series, she's still important to SNK fighters because she's basically the number 2 or number 1 most well-known character from an SNK fighting game. It's tough to say if it's her or Terry Bogard who are the face of King of Fighters, but it's pretty damn close. This also means that Mai's lover, Andy Bogard, is overshadowed by 2 people closely tied to him. Being among the most recognizable characters in a long-running fighting game franchise is pretty dang significant. Now, for all my analysis, Mai initially caught my attention for her visuals when I first started playing CVS2 on the GameCube. Say what you will about the easy operation system, but it makes non-serious matches hilarious. Anyway, besides God Rugal and Shin Akuma, the characters that stuck out to me were Iori, Joe, and Mai. Iori because I was a moody preteen, but Joe and Mai were the only special intros I knew in the game. Little did I know they didn't have much of a connection, but that still attracted me to play both characters. Over time I grew to appreciate the little bits of Mai that I saw on the internet, whether that be good cosplay, good art, or the overall happy feel of the character, until eventually I got back into playing KOF and had fun playing as her and King. I was drawn to her for her eye-catching style, but grew to enjoy her energetic voice and animations. She hits the right balance for me of being peppy without being annoying, and bold without being desperate. Her quick jabs and stylish special moves make her very fun to play, even if she isn't ultra top tier. As much as Mai is defined by her appearance, I feel like people overlook that she is a fun character. Her look is part of it, as I feel it helps enforce the sense of self-importance that fighting game characters need to be satisfying to play, and I don't feel there's anything wrong with having a style you enjoy. Mai is a lot better of a game character than people give her credit for.